38. What is it that we talked about? I just want to briefly summarize. We can state the tolerance of a measurement in 4 unique ways, 4 acceptable formats. They all 4 of them give us this picture if we distill it, if we take it, if we pull it apart, they all give us this. So if you were to look at any four of these formats, you should be able to come up with this, okay? I don't want you to do this. I think it's too much work. It takes up too much time. What I want you to do instead is every single time, try to fill in these 4. Try to come up with these 4 things. And if you can do that, which isn't that difficult, I'll show you a bunch of examples. You can rewrite this one that you're given. Let's say it's this one. You can rewrite it in the other 3 formats. I'll say it one more time. I give you any of the 4. Any of the 4. So let's say I give you this one right here. You should be able to fill in this inventory, and then once you have that inventory, you can rewrite it in the other 3 formats. Okay? And remember, all of these are trying to tell us what is acceptable and what is not. That's all of them are trying to tell us that. Okay? I hope you wrote this down on your study sheet. If you haven't done so, don't wait too long. But the one thing I want to highlight on this particular page, if you have a different color, is that the big number at the front of your tolerance way of stating, because these are all stating some sort of measurement and what is tolerated in that industry. The number at the front is automatically our nominal. Automatically. That's like our target. So I always tell my students, if you see a big number and then you've got stuff behind it, don't worry about it. You know that that big number is your nominal. So this third format here, that big number is automatically our nominal. Is there one big number on the last one? No, right? That is the exception. This is the one where you have to use a formula to figure out the nominal. Right? And so we have to use that formula. So I might help you out today to come up with entries on your study sheet. If you have done so already, don't worry about it. You might have to make some changes, perhaps. I don't know. But you need to find, watch what this is doing. It's finding, like if you add 2 numbers up and you divide it by 2, you're actually finding the middle. You're finding the average. So this is assuming that the target is somewhere in between the high and the low. That's what this is assuming. So not very common that we ask for it, but the last exam, the province actually did ask, they gave this to students. And they're like, what is the nominal? Like, what is the target? And all you had to do is add them up divided by 2. But please, don't add and divide in one shot because you're going to get it wrong. Because the 2 is only going to divide that second number here. So add first, hit equals, then divide. That's always the case. No matter what you do after school, like that's always going to be the case. Okay, you got it? So big number up front, boom, that's our nominal. Guaranteed. No big number, not one single number, then you need to add and divide by 2 to get the nominal. Okay, that's point number 1 that I'm trying to make today. The second one is, watch this. Sometimes, where is it here? Sometimes this one here. Your nominal is 5, correct? Because it's the big number up front. But it is also the minimum. That throws students off sometimes. How did we determine that that's the minimum? Well, I just followed this recipe. I went, well, 5 degrees Celsius minus 0 gave me 5. That's how I came up with the minimum. So the minimum also happens to be what they're targeting. Okay, this factory, whatever, maybe this is a fridge. Okay, fridge should technically be 4 Celsius. I don't know if you know that. but 4 Celsius is what a fridge should be. Not 0, because then you start freezing things, right? Your milk will freeze, your water will freeze. But it's, so you don't want it to get colder. It can get a little warmer by 2 degrees, because you're going to open and close the door. The motor is going to have to work the compressor to cool it off again. So this is probably that scenario. So that's why sometimes what students often complain about is, why are there 4 different formats? Why doesn't the industry just decide on one? Don't ask me, I'm not in charge, it's above my pay grade. But there are 4 different ways, and that's all you need to know, okay? So let's put this into practice. And on the next page or so, we're gonna go at least, I'm gonna go at least 3, and I'm gonna ask you to try a few yourself, okay? Page 39, rewriting tolerance. When you're rewriting, when you're asked to rewrite the tolerance into the other formats, you should try to determine, right? When you have to rewrite tolerance in the other formats, you have to get the max, the min, the tolerance, and the nominal. Once you know these, you can simply follow the formats on your study sheet. Write the following formats into the other 3 formats, okay? It sounds kind of weird, but a lumber yard cuts strips of wood. The strips need to follow a tolerance of, boom, okay? And I'm nice right now, so out of the 4 down here, these are the 4. Which one does this look like? Not that one, not that one, not that one. It's the plus or minus half that gives it away. This one here is in this format. So we're gonna say check already in this format. Like we already have that. That's right there. But the good news is, even if you didn't know that, you could still figure out these 4 things. You honestly, if you didn't do your study sheet, you're like, oh, whoa. Oh, I remember the 4 things that I need to extract, right? The first thing I would do is grab this one. That is my nominal, right? 45. So fill that in. And then I would ask you to start from the top, work your way down. How would you get the max? You would go 45 plus half of whatever's in the brackets. This is usually when I ask you to just figure out what half of what's inside the bracket would be. Half of 4 is 2. Just literally go whatever's in here divided by 2. That's the same thing as multiplying something by half, okay? So this is 2 millimeters, so plus or minus 2 millimeters is what we're asking for. So to get our max, it'd be 45 plus 2. That is 47. And to get our min, minus 2, right? That's 43. And let's make sure we have units. And how do I get my tolerance? Max minus min. Remember that. That is the mathematical definition of tolerance. So we're going to go max minus min. So you go 47 minus 43, and that's 4 millimeters. That's like what's acceptable between the highest and the lowest. And you happen to see that in there too, correct? Which, if you think about it, what's inside the brackets is the tolerance in this case. But if you follow this, you'll get it right every single time. I promise you that, okay? So, I'll just make a little note here. Extract info, right? And then put it in here. Extract the info, put it in there. So now I'm going to ask you, and this is honestly just fill in. Now you're just going to use this information and just rewrite it in these three formats that remain. So this one here happens to say max, min. That's how you're supposed to write it. You go over here, your max is 47, your min is 43. So that's honestly all you do. Boom. That's it. So this tolerance, let's say you go to a different factory, they don't accept this. They want it like this. Here we go. You got it. Now the next one here, what does this ask for? It's asking for the min to be up front. So the min is 43. So you go 43 millimeters. Please include units every single time. You go minus 0 millimeters, because we're doing millimeters here, plus what is supposed to go up here? The tolerance. You go get it from your inventory. It's like your go-to is this. This is where you get all the pieces for your puzzle, right? So you've written it in this format. One left, this one. It's asking for the max up front. It's 47. So we're going to go 47 millimeters plus 0 millimeters minus the tolerance, which we know is 4. Voila, you're done. How can this ever come up on an exam? What I've seen is, here is the measurement and its tolerance. Which one of these is an acceptable way to rewrite it? And they will have, only one will be right, okay? Only one will be correct. So what you need to do is fill in this thing. Once you have this filled in, you go and check which one would make most sense, okay? And then you pick the right one. So now that we have that, I'm going to take it a little further here. Which of the following strips would be acceptable? Hold it. Before you do this one, do this, okay? What's our max? Is 47. Our smallest piece, or the measurement, can be 43. Right, this is a max. This is the min. Anything in between is what we call a tolerance. We know that that's 4 millimeters. So the 43.01, is that acceptable? Because this is good. Anything inside or on the line is good, but this would be bad. This would be bad. Okay. 43.01, would that be acceptable? It's just over the 43. It's inside the good here. So yes, it's acceptable. 47.01. Right? It's too big. It's like up here somewhere. Not good. 42.99. Don't round. Not in this unit. So it's out here, right? It's not quite at 43. And then 42.79. Nope. It's the only one that would be acceptable under these circumstances. Okay. What about 46.99? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What about that one? 46 is just under the 47 line. Yeah, that one is good. So that's what we're talking about here. All right. One more. I'm going to throw a wrench in your little world for a bit here. 42. Let's go to 42. I'm going to skip a few. You're going to do the ones that I'm not doing. This one right here. Let me ask you this. Ready for this one? They started doing this recently without letting us know, and we were all upset about it as teachers because we didn't prepare our students. This format right here, does it look like any of these? Right. There's no minus 0, right? It kind of looks like either this one or this one, right? But there's no 0. And the problem says, so what? It's still okay. And that's why if you follow this, you're going to be fine every single time. So let's start from the top maybe. How do you get your max? 10 plus that, right? You add. So you're going to go 2.85 plus 0.25. And that is 3.1. Why do I go 3.10? Just because everything is in 2 decimals here, so I'm just going to stick with it. But I think it'll be fine, just go 3.1. The minimum, it's just that minus, right? It says minus here, so you go 2.85 minus 0.15. That is 2.70 kgs. How do you find your tolerance again? Yeah, max. So be 3.1 minus 2.7. So you literally subtract these and you get 0.4 kgs. Yeah. And what's my nominal? Remember, the big number up front is always your nominal? That's what we're targeting. I will highlight that because if you can just remember that, because I don't know, I can't tell you how many times it's just the question, it's a whole page, by the way, that's always what throws students off. It'll be this, what's the nominal? All you would have to state is this, and they give you a whole page to do that. So it's like, what? What's going on here? It's a trick. Right? So this is automatically your nominal if it's there. Okay. Now we have these 4. We can rewrite it in these formats. Can you do that? I hope so. Max, min. You just grab these 2 numbers. Fun stuff, eh? Yeah. Next. Min. That goes up front. Okay. Minus 0 kgs. Plus, what's my tolerance? It's 0.4. Max is 3.1 plus 0 kgs minus the tolerance. Last but not least, nominal is 2.85 kgs plus or minus half of the tolerance, which is 0.4. Just units everywhere, okay? Wherever when you're not sure, just units. Maybe I'll put a little title on this one. Does not match any of the 4. Okay? But that's okay. That's okay. That it will not. Just make sure you use this. On my study sheet, I would always be like, whatever format you have, just tell yourself, I'm doing this first, then I rewrite. So from here to there, and then you spread out, okay? So using this information, I can go every which way I want. Okay, so first, extract info, make this inventory. From there, you fill in these ones. And that's how it works every single time. I'll do one more, and then I wanted to try a bunch so you really get the hang of it. One more thing before I move on. I'm just thinking of it now. This one here, You're looking up, right? It kind of looks, remember when we did uncertainty, measurement plus or minus uncertainty, right? But this half gives it away, that it's not the same. And all of these are telling us what's acceptable in that industry, not whether or not the measurement could be off. That's not what it does. It just tells us what's acceptable, what they're going to keep if it's off. 41. So we're jumping a little bit. I apologize, but 41, the bottom half. You're given this. You go to your study sheet. Which one does this look like? The first one. Oops. Check. That we got that. So we don't need to rewrite it in that format, just the other three. So again, you recognize immediately that the top number is the max. That's decibels, by the way. Sound, right? You measure sound. 55 is the min, the lowest. How do you find your tolerance again? Right. You know what I'm asking that over and over, right? Because you will forget. But the more I ask, the more annoying it gets, so you won't forget. 10 decibels is the tolerance. What's my nominal here? I gotta use my formula. It's 60. Yeah, you should. Did you do the math, or are you just using mental math here? Mental math, yeah. That's okay, but not. Sometimes it's going to be difficult to just do that. So to get the nominal, I have to go max plus min divided by 2. 65 plus 55. Yeah. So that's 120 divided by 2. So this is 60 decibels. It's 60 decibels. Here's the annoying part, okay? You usually get 0 marks for this. That's the annoying part. But I would say this is necessary to do a good job to rewrite. Okay, so this is like a tool that I've developed. This is like the best way I can come up with for you to be successful in this unit. Get this. There's no big number, so the nominal, so that's the weird thing here. Maybe I will highlight, right? That we had to use that formula in this case, and then rewrite it. Let's rewrite it real quick. Min is 55 decibels minus 0 decibels plus whatever the tolerance is, which is 10. This one calls for the max, so 65 plus 0 decibels minus 10 decibels. So done. Then the last one asks for the nominal, which we know what it is. It's 60 plus or minus half of whatever the tolerance is, which we know is 10 decibels. So there you have it. Inventory, and then spread out and rewrite. So this is what I will do here. I think I have 40 all the way to 43. Yeah, I actually have a little bit of conceptual things left, but I think I can do that either at the end of today or Monday. I want you to do this right now. This is the most important part. So 40, yeah, 1 second. 42, 43. 20. So go to page 40, and at the top, you say homework. Page 40 to 43. Plus study sheet. Study sheet. What should be on your study sheet? The 4 formats. right? I would have the four. You're listening, right? I know it's Friday. I would have these there. 4 ways to state tolerance. That's what I would have as a title. And then maybe have one example where you go from here to here and then rewrite it maybe, or maybe just from here to here. You don't need to show how you rewrote it because I think you just follow the formats, right? What I would have is if you're having these 4 on your study sheet, I would say that for this one, nominal is max plus min divided by 2. Okay, so if you have this format, to get the nominal, you have to just add them and divide it by 2. But make sure you have something on there regards to this. So at the very minimum is have the 4 formats. I would say to be even better prepared, have one of these and show how you fill this in. And then under this format, have how to find the nominal in that case. Okay? I'm going to pause here for now.